Hey, it's Michelle Bett, and I thought I'd pop on video for you today to talk a little bit more about the post that I made yesterday, or depending on when you see this, a day or two ago. And it was about this YouTube video that I came across where someone was, and I can't remember his name now off the top of my head, but you'll find, if you want, I can send you that information. But the gentleman was talking about lessons he learned from his father. And one of the lessons was that, there are two ways to do something, right and again. And, when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. But it also might not be resonant with people because, people will say a whole bunch of things. Well, if you learn from something and you have to do it again and again, then isn't that, something about not doing it right? Or right means one thing to one person and one thing to another. And that is absolutely true. And that is what I want to talk about today, and why I am so passionate about this facial intelligence work and facial acuity sales tactics for people like me and you, potentially coaches, consultants, and mentors, because sometimes we have language that we use interchangeably and we think that everybody understands the meaning of that word in the same way, and they don't. And that makes the difference in how we connect with people, and it makes the difference potentially on how we're able to work with someone. So if you saw that blog post, it said, well, right, the word right resonates very much with people who are predominantly warrior personalities and have warrior features on their face. So there's a strong sense of rightness and wrong to that person. And if you might or might not be able to hear the lawnmower going in the background, but it's okay. It's part of being outside. That's the beauty of city living. Right resonates with warriors, and the face of that YouTuber, and probably his father as well, very, very warrior. And so if you wanted to get the same sentiment across to somebody who wasn't a warrior, saying that, you might get resistance, like, oh yeah, well, what does right mean? But, if you're talking to a royal, then they're going to say, oh, there are two ways to do something, perfect and again. And perfect resonates with a royal. And so, oh yeah, if I do it perfectly, then I don't have to do it again. And that is how they think. And so each personality archetype and each facial feature combination that corresponds to a personality archetype has its way of needing to hear something, even though it's the same thing. And that is what we as coaches need to know and feel and display, because every potential client is going to need to hear our message differently for them, based on who they are, based on their life experience, based on where they are in their life, based on the mistakes they've made, based on the triumphs they've had, based on their facial features and just their innate personality and the things they've learned through life, and their family and all these things. And most, if not all, of those indicators show up on someone's face for you to know a little bit more about them. So life experience shows up on their faces, how they've responded to those life experiences, who they innately are, things they've potentially learned, the way they see the world, the way they want to interact with you or not. Features, markings, wrinkles, all of those give us clues about that information for that person. So we know how to say right or perfect or wisely or what the others are for each of them. And that really is the power of facial acuity. That's why I am here talking to you about it and teaching you about it, and inviting you to join the program with me for it, because that really is a good and very successful place for us as coaches, consultants, and mentors to make a difference in other people's lives, to have our work be as resonant with them as possible, and then help us to serve more people and grow our businesses by making more sales, because we're saying and doing the right things, or the most perfect things, or the most nurturing things to the right people, or that perfect client, or however you want to say. And so it's really important, because in our society, and in most societies, there are a finite number of words to describe situations that every person interprets differently. And we can talk more about this in future videos, because there are a lot of words that we use and lump into one category, but really each archetype experiences that word differently, and that different experience contributes to where the underlying problem starts and how to cure that problem. And it's very powerful stuff. So that's for another day. But until next time, I'm Michelle Butt. Enjoy the beautiful day wherever you are, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.